The court has determined that the alleged shooter of PnB Rock is still considered incompetent to stand trial. Greetings everyone. Today's video will focus on the recent development in the case involving a teenager from California who has been accused of shooting hip-hop star PnB Rock. According to a recent court ruling, the teen has been deemed incompetent to stand trial. It is alleged that the teenager committed the shooting during a robbery at a restaurant, resulting in the death of PnB Rock. Not only is the teen on trial, but his father and another individual are also facing charges for their involvement in the incident. The defense argues that the teen acted alone, while the prosecution asserts that the father orchestrated the robbery. Throughout the trial, there will be the presentation of graphic evidence and testimonies from witnesses. Without any further delay, let us begin our discussion. In a Los Angeles County courtroom on Friday, a teenager from California who has been accused of fatally shooting hip-hop artist PnB Rock almost 2 years ago made an appearance. The temporary judge presiding over the juvenile case determined that the teen, who is currently not deemed competent to stand trial, should remain in custody and continue receiving necessary services. During the court proceedings in Compton, the individual under suspicion, donning a vibrant orange uniform typically worn in detention centers, chose to maintain his silence. According to the prosecution, it is alleged that the accused, at the age of 17, entered Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in South Los Angeles on September 12, 2022, where he proceeded to shoot Rakim Allen, widely recognized as PnB Rock. Furthermore, they assert that he subsequently committed robbery against Allen and his fiancée, Stephanie Sibun-Hwan, while Allen lay wounded on the ground. Suspending proceedings and continuing with the remedial process, Commissioner Sharonda P. Bradford announced that expert recommendations have affirmed the teenager's incompetence despite the services rendered. It is advised that the previous orders be upheld, she declared, scheduling another hearing for the following month. In the very same building where the murder trial of Freddie Trone, the alleged shooter's father, took place, this hearing unfolded. Trone, aged 42, entered a plea of not guilty to charges of murder, robbery, and conspiracy to commit a felony. Tremont Jones, aged 46, a co-defendant who allegedly disclosed Allen's whereabouts to Trone and his son, also pleaded not guilty to charges connected to the case. During the trial, jurors were presented with explicit images that revealed the presence of Allen's blood within the premises of Roscoe's. A police officer who was among the first responders described her efforts to assist Allen in his last moments, recounting how she applied pressure to his injuries until paramedics arrived. Additionally, she disclosed that a hidden firearm was only discovered in Allen's waistband when he was lifted by firefighters. The positioning of the firearm holds importance in this case, as Trone's legal representative contended that his son, driven by fear, may have been the one to discharge the weapon. Defense attorney Winston McKesson proposed in a motion to have the charges dropped that, based on the restaurant footage, it remains uncertain what actions Mr. Rakim took with his hands subsequent to being approached by Trone's son. McKesson further posited that there is a possibility the son felt his life was in jeopardy. Later that day, jurors received a detailed account of Allen's autopsy results from Dr. Juan M. Carrillo, the county medical examiner. According to his testimony, Allen sustained 3 gunshot wounds, 1 to the chest and 2 to the back. One of the bullets entered Allen's back, exited through his front, and then re-entered at his neck, causing a fracture in his jaw. When questioned about the possibility of the shooter standing over Allen based on the back wounds, Dr. Carrillo admitted that he could not provide a definitive answer. Hailing from Philadelphia, Allen, an artist of considerable talent, skyrocketed to stardom in 2016 when his triple platinum hit Selfish captivated audiences. Recognizing his potential, Rolling Stone identified him as a rising star to keep an eye on during that very same year. Further solidifying his prominence, he collaborated with Ed Sheeran on the widely acclaimed track Cross Me in 2019. Upon encountering Allen, LAPD officer Katrina Castaneda provided assistance and immediately identified him by the distinctive diamond-adorned pendant bearing the inscription Big PnB. In the courtroom, jurors were presented with a photograph depicting the pendant placed beside a salt shaker. Prosecutors assert that the accused assailant not only took various pieces of jewelry from Allen, but also absconded with a luxurious Audemars Piguet watch belonging to Sibun Huang. Deputy District Attorney Timothy Richardson asserted during his opening statements that Trone had a deliberate plan to commit robbery when he drove his son to Roscoe's. He supported his argument by pointing to surveillance footage that depicted Trone engaging in conversation with Jones and another individual prior to the shooting, as well as Trone's subsequent act of setting their escape vehicle on fire. In his plea to the jury, defense attorney McKesson emphasized the importance of basing their decision on factual evidence rather than allowing emotions to sway their judgment. He contended, while it is undoubtedly tragic that a life was lost and a young woman's life was forever altered by witnessing this heinous crime, all the evidence will clearly demonstrate that the defendant's son acted independently. McKesson refuted the suggestion that Trone could have anticipated the arrival of Allen and Sibun Huang at Roscoe's, asserting that no reservations were made. Without any evidence to support the claim that the defendant conspired with his son, McKesson firmly stated that the gunman acted independently. While acknowledging that his client did assist in concealing the crime, he challenged the lack of proof regarding the transfer of the weapon or any instructions to commit premeditated murder. To clarify the situation, Richardson made it clear that Jones was not being accused of murder, emphasizing this point to the jurors. In defense of Jones, his lawyer, David Haas, raised doubts about the prosecution's assertion, proposing that Allen and Sibun Huang's jewelry may have drawn unwanted attention. Haas contended that the evidence against Jones lacked certainty, dismissing it as mere speculation, and urged the jury to deliver a verdict of not guilty. To support our channel's growth and ensure broader awareness, kindly hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. This will help us reach more individuals and disseminate valuable information. Thank you in advance. To support our channel's growth and